All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And in today's video, we are going to talk about the ashes of creation drama that transpired over this last week. And I wanted to provide my perspective on things that I've experienced on YouTube in general with other friends and things I've experienced as a creator. Provide my perspective for you guys and my overall thoughts on copyright striking as a whole. And so that's what this video is going to be. I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible. I'm just like what I do in all my videos. I'm going to provide facts and information. I'm going to provide my reasoning with what has been presented. Obviously, I do not know either one of these people. I do not know them at all. I'm seeing what I'm seeing, and then based off of what I've seen without knowing any other context, this is going to be my opinion. And so, yeah, that's what this video is going to be. Let's dive into it. So, there are copyright claims and there are copyright strikes on YouTube. This one obviously happened on Twitch, but they both function similarly. Copyright claims are like a slap on the wrist about monetization disputes over music. You know, maybe you use too much of an anime video, and you know the anime development team is up at their own ass about what fair use is and those sorts of things. That stuff happens, but more often than not, that's more of a slap on the wrist. But YouTube and Twitch have been it's been bad. Like, big accounts have been covering this for a while. It's been a problem. Most content creators have had to deal with some sort of copyright claim over the years. I've had one video that constantly gets claimed once or twice a year for the last 4 or 5 years. And it's always the same no-name music company that's always trying to question the same song, like they're trying to claim it as their own, and it never works out. But they do it anyways, because they have that. It must be like some sort of blanket algorithm where they go through and they find all the songs that kind of sound like that, and they question that video every single time. It makes me laugh because, yeah, I didn't do anything wrong. Nobody's watching that video anyways. But yeah, it happens. And so I have never gotten a copyright strike, but I do know details about 2 other content creators. I have. One of them is a friend of mine. One of them was, it happened in a community that I was in. And I decided I wanted to talk about them before we dive into this one. And so the first one, start off with online beef. Shocking. Over a video game. Also shocking. Who argues on video games? Not any of us. Anyways, it devolved. Videos, death montages, killing montages, these sorts of things, shit-talking montages. And eventually, one person didn't like the other person using their Twitch stream as a way to do videos, and so they copyright strike them for using their content. And so this person tried to contest it, and they said, hey, this is fair use. I can use your Twitch streams on my videos. I'm going to try to contest this. And so what happens at that point is they have to settle it in court, and you have to put your name, your address, and this stuff on official forms, and you send those in, and so that they can reach out to you. You're not just like a anonymous persona. You're now a person. And so the thing is when the person is petty enough to copyright strike you for no reason at all, they're also petty enough to dox you. And so that's what happened to this person. They got doxed, and then the other community threatened to rape and kill her. And yeah, it got really personal really quickly. And so that one was really eye-opening as to how cruel copyright strike, like how personal these copyright strikes can get. The next one happened in the ESO community. One content creator was talking a bunch of shit over the course of a few months about another content creator. He went a little bit too far in one video, and then the other content creator felt the need to reply back and explained his point of view, insulted him, did a bunch of things, like nothing any worse than what the other person was doing over 8 months, but he did it in one video. And so the other person got in his feelings, and he decided to copyright claim him. Now, copyright striking has been an issue on YouTube for a long time. It has been very problematic. There's lots of, YouTube is very quick to copyright strike. You don't really need a reason for that to happen. Sometimes it's just they just do it, and they hand them out expeditiously. So my friend got copyright striked, and he knew that everything falls under fair use. He knew that he wasn't using too much footage or anything, and he was creatively using it for his own video, and so he decided to contest it. So he put his name and he put his address down on a piece of paper or, on a form, and they got sent out, and the other person then used that name and address to dox him publicly on YouTube. And so, yeah, I know of 2 of these where it leads to public doxing. And so it's tough when you're a small account and you don't have a ton of money and you get this copyright strike. It's not like somebody's arguing your idea, okay? They're not arguing your idea. They're arguing the idea of whether or not your account should exist. And so it's not a, hey, please take it down. It's a, hey, yeah, 2 more of these, you don't exist anymore and you got to start over from scratch or you're done. And so you can try to contest it. But then you have to potentially weigh the pros and cons of hiring a lawyer for hours upon hours of potential legal battles over a video that may make, what, $20, $50, $100, couple $100, maybe $1,000, depending on how big you are. Oftentimes, it's not worth going that far. And then on top of that, like I just said, the other issue is if the other person's petty enough to try to take down a video like this, they're probably petty enough to dox you publicly and do these things. Now, I'm not saying it applies to this other situation. It's just when I've seen these, copyright strikes have a way of getting very personal because it's not attacking somebody's idea or somebody's creative videos or opinions. It's, I'm attacking you as a creator. I don't think you should be a creator. And that's a way different level. That's why it gets so personal. That's why sometimes this drama escalates the way it does. And so, yeah, so Narc got a copyright strike on Twitch. And so I wanted to provide both perspectives. And so Narc came out and said that he was watching Paradox Gaming, Jaylon's video, and on freeholds. And Jaylon got to a point where he basically stated that Steven Sharif was a type of gaming director that is about the money and isn't about, it's his opinion. I'm not going to comment on that here. He basically just said something that Narc didn't agree with, and he didn't like the direction that the video was going down, and he said he didn't want to show that video anymore on stream. I don't know what else happened. I don't know if there was more joking and shit talking that ensued afterwards. The VOD was taken down. And so that's Narc's perspective. There's probably more. I mean, there's always more than just that. And so I was like, okay, well, that's really interesting. I should go check out Jaylon or Paradox Gaming's point of view and see what he has to say. And so he didn't do a rebuttal video, but he was responding to people in the comment section. And so I decided to pull up a few of these. And first one says, man, I appreciate you as a content creator, but copyright striking Narc puts you in a very bad light as a person. And he writes, so since you did more than just throw shade, I will give you a response. This was not the first time Narc borrowed my content. In fact, Narc borrowed a piece of my content, and then when I used my own image in a video, I got accused of stealing his content. While I can appreciate Narc's perspective that I should have come to him and asked him to take down the VOD, I certainly could have done that. But when did that become my responsibility? That street also goes both ways. When he got the strike, he could have come to me and he tried to work it out. Instead, he decided to put out a video with a wink wink call to arms and then mock me on his most recent stream. Okay, so we have stealing content, the community accusing him of stealing content, and mocking. And so we'll go on to the next one. Next response I found. Since you put it into thought in your post, I will respond to it in kind. You may be right. Maybe I should have reached out to him. And yet at the same time, he had the very same choice. He could have reached out to me and talked it through, or he could do what he did and make a video about it. And he has reportedly on his stream been mocking me by wearing an image cut out of my top hat. Personally, I think that's funny. As I said, Narc previously used content of mine and didn't credit me for it. It wasn't a video, it was an image with a bunch of reasons why PvE servers on Ashes wouldn't work. When I used it in a video, several members of his community accused me of stealing his content. You are correct in that Ashes community is very small, but I would disagree it's tight-knit. So, went on to read a few more. The core crux of the issue is Paradox Gaming is saying that Narc has stolen his content in the past. That's his point of view. Whose fault is it for not reaching out to the other person in this situation? And the community accused him of stealing content when it was his own. So these are the main cruxes of this side of the argument. The first thing I want to say is as far as it being an image goes, I mean I've done hundreds of videos on my channel. I think I've done 800. Some private because they're in the past and they're really bad, but I've done hundreds of videos. And so I know in the past I've used tables and charts that I didn't know where they came from. I knew the information was right. I knew it was presented well, and so I posted them. But I didn't know the source, and I didn't attribute it obviously I didn't attribute it. I try to attribute the information I get from other people, and I try to give credit where it's due, but nobody bats 100% in this regard. And so I'm not saying it's not malicious. I'm not saying it is malicious. I'm saying that there is a potential gray area here. That's all I'm saying, is it's possible that somebody could have sent Narc this table and he saw it and he's like, wow, that's presented very well. I don't have to make my own. I'm going to use this. Now, if you're worried about it as a whole, if you're worried about graphs and tables being used on somebody else's thing and you want credit for it, you want to make sure you get credit, watermarks you just use a watermark and that clears all issues. I don't know. Graphs and tables are tough because it's like you're doing videos and you want videos to be streamlined with information. And if you're attributing every single graph, I don't even know what video it is. I'm not trying to defend it. I'm just going to say this. I think it can be a gray area. That's all. And so I'm not saying it's intentional. I'm not saying it's unintentional. I'm just stating that if you have an issue in that situation, my core belief is if you have the problem, you're the person that needs to bring it to the other person. The other person's not a mind reader. They're not going to know if you have an issue with something that's been happening unless you bring it up yourself. Now, I don't know if these guys know each other, if they've reached out to each other in the past or anything like that. I don't know what type of personal discussion that they've had with each other. But yeah, if you have an issue with somebody using your content in one way or another, and you have an issue with it, you need to bring that up to them. If you're the one that's going to go scorched earth and copyright strike somebody, you're the one that needs to bring it forward, because you're the one that is like, hey, I have a problem with how you're conducting business. I think you should reconsider or maybe not do business anymore. You're the one that has to bring it forward. As far as community members accusing you of stealing content, I've been there. I've done ESO content for years now, and my time doing build videos has overlapped with a very big content creator that I think a lot of you guys know, which is Cypher PK. And at that point in time, he had like 150,000 subscribers, and I had 500 subscribers, or 1,000. He was much larger than I was. And I came out with a build video for PvP, and I had people comment on my video a few months later saying that I copied Cypher PK's build video, and I stole it from him. And stealing information. And I try not to do those things. You don't want to steal information. You want to come up with your own stuff. You want to make a name for yourself. You want to do these things. And so I was like, holy shit. Like, did Cypher and I come up with the same idea? Did he post his before me? Because if he did, I didn't steal from him, but if he posted his before me, nobody's going to believe that I didn't steal from him. So I'm going to have to take that video down. So I went back and looked, and my video came out a month before his. It came out 4 weeks before his did. And so nobody stole from anybody. It's not like he stole from me or anything like that. We just came up with the same idea for the same build, or a similar build with similar gear sets, and that was that. But I get what it's like to have people accuse you. That's not Cypher PK's fault, though, that his community accused me of stealing. That's the community members, that's their fault. So I understand the annoyance, but I don't think that should have any bearing on a copyright strike. It's my perspective. And so, yeah, we've covered all those things. We've covered the table. We've covered who the onus is on and the community. And then I found this. This is actually on Asmongold's reaction. They pulled a Discord post, and it said, "There's absolutely nothing he can do at this point to get me to take down the strike." So he's resolute in not taking it down. This strike will prevent him from making partner. There it is. If he had been a man about it and came to me after the first time he borrowed my content, it wouldn't have been an issue. If he had been a professional about it after the strike, we could have worked something out. Now I have no incentive to take the strike off. Now, I thought Narc was professional. Narc's videos are typically a lot more joking and lighthearted and everything. He did a video talking about it, but he didn't go after you in the same way I've seen him go after other content creators on differing opinions. He took that a lot more seriously from my perspective. This strike will prevent him from making partner. Yes, that's exactly. That was the goal. The goal wasn't to have a debate or discuss argument or anything. The goal was to hurt the other person. That's how I see this. And so, yeah, since this point, people in the community, Ashes of Creation community members, have talked to Jalon at Paradox Gaming, and he said, among about the 50 death threats, I found this post and another few posts that were somewhat rational. The thing I don't consider is how that would hurt him long term. I don't know. I think you knew. I didn't consider that until he said in his video that the strike would prevent him from making partner. I don't necessarily agree with his use of the content, but given the overwhelming response, I don't want to get in the way of his making partner. Twitch received the retraction. And so he retracted the ban shortly. This was sometime after this Discord post. I don't know if it's official or not or anything like that, but yeah. Anyways, the point is it's good that things got resolved. Regardless of what happens between Narc and Jalon or two other content creators, death threats are not cool, guys. Death threats are not cool. You don't need to send somebody death threats because of something like this. It is a more serious situation, but it's not that serious of a situation, if that makes sense. So if you're feeling the need to message somebody and threaten harm to them, potentially killing them, may I recommend going outside and touching a lot of grass. Like maybe just spend like a couple weeks just outside among the trees. Like you need to find peace, because that's really, really fucked up. And yeah, I get it. And I even said in this video, like this is taking a more personal turn, and people want to defend, their favorite content creators. I understand doing that. You can defend people without threatening to kill somebody. Okay? Like Jesus fucking Christ. Holy fuck. So yeah. In summation, I don't know everything. Obviously, this is just what I've seen. This has just been my experience from what I've seen with copyright strikes. They always seem to get personal with how things were written. It looks like it got, looks like Paradox Gaming or Jalon was insulted in some ways about things that happened. And I get it. I'm glad that he, unlike other content creators that I know, decided to be the bigger person and retract it. I think that's the better way to go about it. We all get angry. We all make mistakes. We all mess up. We all do things that, we regret. And sometimes you just got to be the bigger person and say, hey, this is not cool. I'm not going to do this. And yeah, hats off to you, Jalon, for doing that. And that wasn't a joke pointed at your top hat. That was just a turn of phrase. But yeah, I sorry. When I'm talking about something and I'm trying to talk about a serious issue, I try to make light of it by jokes. That's my coping mechanism. So yeah, that's where we're at. Overall, a lot of juicy drama, a lot of popcorn I'm sure was eaten over what's happened and transpired over the last few days. I know a bunch of the larger accounts got their hands on it. I know what that's like. Too. And so it's not fun. Sometimes it's not fun. Like you sign on and you read comments and you just get this. It's almost like a hate wave. So I guess that's the best way to put it. Like you just get this hate wave of just nasty information and yeah, that'll happen sometimes too. Like I know last year when I was doing, last thing I'll talk about, last year when Lucky Ghost came out with his corruption video and how it was going to ruin the game and those sorts of things, I did a video saying that I thought he was wrong, and I thought for a while about whether or not I was going to do that video, because as a smaller channel, I have 13,000 subs, which is nothing for Lucky Ghost. Like you have to have 100,000 or bust to talk to him, but inside joke, but. Yeah, he's got he had 130,000 subs, and it's like, yeah, if you're going to do a video rebuttaling somebody that has 10 times the amount of subscribers, there's a good chance that 10 times the amount of people that disagree with you will come talk to you. And so I can see the perspective of what it's like to be, confront larger channels. Like I want this to be out there as well. Like that, I don't want this to turn into a bashing situation. Sometimes it's, bigger accounts have a way of putting a lot of pressure on smaller accounts. And sometimes, we react poorly, and so just trying to provide some humanity into the situation, I guess, because yeah, it's not easy. It's like I haven't had Asmongold react to one of my videos or disagree with it, but I've seen what happens when that does. And yeah, it's just, that's why sometimes you see these things be a little bit more one-sided. And so, yeah, I'm glad this entire thing reached a resolution. I really hope that not another copyright strike will happen again in the Ashes community. Hopefully I did some small part in bringing awareness to this. If you guys have a problem with how I present information, or if I accidentally, if I don't credit you, like in all seriousness, I want to bring this out here because I do the same thing in my other community. If I don't credit you in some way and you created something or whatever, and I'm in the wrong, let me know. Let me know, and I will retract it. I will retract the video. I will redo the entire video to give you the correct credit that is deserved, because that matters to me. I think that that's important, and I want that out there. You can reach out to me on DM. You can message me. You can message me on Twitter. You can message me on YouTube. You can just respond on my wall, or you can write an angry message. Make a YouTube video. That's fine too. But yeah, let's just keep the copyright striking out of it from now on, and let's go on talking about a game that doesn't exist. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.